Seems to be changing day by day.
Well, remember a few weeks back when I told you about the contractor who kept saying to the jury $5 million and $10 million? A man named Thomas Hardiman said his business partner lost a $5 million contract and a $10 million contract after they didn't hire Bobby Ferguson. Well, today, the same Water Department insider who yesterday had some damaging testimony about the defendants shed some new lights on those lost contracts. Were the Water Department contracts known as 1361 and 1387 canceled because of a criminal enterprise at work or to cut costs? Today, Detroit Water Department Deputy Director Daryl Latimer agreed with defense attorneys that one contract was dropped and the other rolled into another project to save money. Former Detroit Mayor Kwame Kilpatrick, his father Bernard Kilpatrick, and his friend Bobby Ferguson are on trial, accused of lining their pockets by steering Water Department business to Ferguson's companies. Ex-Water Department Director Victor Mercado already pleaded guilty to a lesser conspiracy charge in the case. During the last several weeks, Thomas Hardiman and Avinash Rashmali from Lakeshore Engineering testified that they felt Lakeshore lost the $10 million contract 1361 and the $5 million contract 1387 when they didn't put Ferguson on their team. Today, Ferguson defense lawyer Mike Ratai showed Latimer dozens of internal Water Department documents about that contract 1387. Memos, letters, and faxes revealed that DWSD supervisors were concerned that certain engineers were trying to improperly steer business to Lakeshore and that the contract just wasn't needed. Latimer testified that Lakeshore was never even awarded that project. When Ratai said to suggest Lakeshore lost $5 million is incorrect, Latimer agreed.
The case is always in the cross-examination, and what we were trying to do is use Mr. Latimer to show that basically the government has no case.
Latimer also agreed with the defense that cost savings were at stake when they suggested the other $10 million Lakeshore contract got rolled into a project already being handled by Inland Waters, which was owned by prominent businessman Tony Suave at the time. Meanwhile, yesterday, you'll recall, we told you that Latimer testified that it didn't look good when Mercado told him to recalculate the bids on a different project. Federal prosecutors say a new method was used to score proposals so that companies that had teamed up with Ferguson would win. Today, Kilpatrick's attorney Jim Thomas suggested the bids were redone because a firm embroiled in a lawsuit with the city that had lowballed the department would have won if they hadn't taken another look at the scoring.
Obviously, Mr. Latimer was, answered my questions in my estimation as honestly and truthfully as he could. And at the end of the day, we were able to cast serious doubt on the allegations in the indictment.
Mr. Latimer will be back on the stand tomorrow for more cross-examination, and then the government will get to ask him some more questions. The defense still has to overcome some text messages between Kilpatrick and Ferguson that suggest they were communicating about some of those contracts behind the scenes, though.
Yeah, this sounds like an extended game of ping pong. It's going back and forth, and unfortunately, the jury's got to try to keep score on this thing.
Yes, they do, and that is kind of what it feels like. You'll spend an entire day of testimony with the feds just unloading evidence, and you walk away thinking, whoa. Then the defense gets up there, and like today, literally it was document after document showing that there is another side of the story to consider. We just keep showing you what's revealed in court so you can get the full picture with this case, and ultimately comes down to the jury, and they are keeping notes.
They're keeping score.
Track.
All right, thanks, Heather.